Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here today with your boy Nero and Fred, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is your puppy's ability to understand and respond to his formal on-leash obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the puppies when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded in his right hand. That leaves the left hand free to give any correction that's needed, and the only correction that we give is a tug and release on the training collar. And that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. When I come up on Tuesday, I'm going to bring you several options to choose from for going forward in his training. Now, he's sitting very nicely at Fred's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to be demonstrating for you is heeling. Heeling is particularly important because you live in the city, and the command is Nero, heel. Now at this point, Nero has a job to do, and that is to walk nicely beside your left leg, not pulling ahead or lagging behind or lunging out or jumping on people. And each time that you stop your feet, he has been taught to sit automatically without being told to wait for his next command. So when you're walking in the city, you stop to cross traffic or talk to someone on the street, he should be sitting nicely at your left without jumping around on the end of the leash. Now the next command that we're going to demonstrate for you is the sit-stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. Now you're going to be able to work, you have a big enough apartment to work in these commands indoors as well as outdoors. So the sit-stay is for 30 seconds, working up to 3 minutes. And when Fred returns back to him, he's going to walk all the way around him as an additional distraction. And Nero's job is to remain seated until Fred gets back to heel position. So everything starts and stops at heel. Nice automatic sits. It's kind of a dreary, nasty, kind of chilly day, but we wanted to get your video done before the nor'easter gets here, so when I bring him home, we're going to chat about everything that he has learned here, not only obedience-wise, but housebreaking-wise. Now, Fred left him in another sit-stay. We want him to hold it, so he's developing focus and self-control, but instead of returning back to him this time, Fred is going to use his name and lighten his tone of voice and call him, and Nero should not stop and sniff things, but he should come all the way in and sit in front of you. So we're going to do that exercise again since he was playing around. Nero is very, very, very manly Frenchie. I have a male Frenchie that is not quite as macho as Nero, but close. He gets a little attitude when something that you're doing is something he doesn't like, including taking away his food bowl. So we're going to chat about that as well when I see you. Fred's going to call him. See, Fred talks him in, gives him verbal praise and reassurance that he's doing it the right way. Now we have brought a little blanket out here for Nero to demonstrate his next commands, because I know Frenchies and they don't like to lay down outside in the cold. So we brought out a little blanket for him. And the next exercises that we're going to be demonstrating for you are your down commands. Now the first one is a down from heel position. So with him seated at your left, you take your left open palm, push it straight down toward the ground, and give the one-word command to down and stay. And again, this is easily practiced in your home. You don't have to go out on the street to do obedience. We do our videos outside. When Fred returns back to him, he walks all the way around him just as he did on the sit-stay, returning all the way back around to heel position. And as I was saying, you don't have to go outside. Wherever you expect the best behavior from him is where you want to work with him, and his indoor manners are every bit as important as his outdoor manners. Nice sits. He's not so sure about the blanket, but Fred gives him the down and the stay. That was better. Now your long down stay, you're going to ultimately end up at 5 minutes. You can start out at about a minute, but I want you to add about 10 seconds a day until you're all the way up to 5 minutes. So at this point, you can either return to him or Fred will call him.
Nero, come, good boy. Come on.
See, sometimes it's just a matter of changing up. If, you know, sometimes being firm, too firm isn't good. Sometimes being too soft isn't good. So you have to be able to change your training style off and on during the time that you're working with the same dog. Especially on the commands that are happy commands like come. You want him to come to you. Now this time Fred's going to leave him in a sit-stay. He's going to turn to face him. He's going to use his right hand to give the command, and this is your down from a distance, and that was perfect. So we have demonstrated for you all of the formal on-leash obedience commands that Nero has learned since he's been with us here at school. We have a lot to go over when I bring him home, and I think that you're my only stop that day. We very much enjoyed having him, and again, we want to thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.